Uh-oh, it says off air. It hasn't started yet. Okay.
Mine says
Good
live.
evening, everyone. Yeah. Good evening, everyone. This is Dr. Renee, and we are here with the Ask Dr. Renee show. If you've never watched our show before, this show is here to motivate and inspire you to live the life that you deserve. We only get one life to live, and why not live it? And start living it right now. Don't wait until I get this or until that or don't wait. Just live right now, because you never know. Tomorrow is not promised. This is not a dress rehearsal. So I want you to live life now. And so I bring this show to you to hear stories of people who are living the life they deserve and how they got to that place of not having the Sunday night blues because they're miserable about going to work on Monday. These people are all excited about what they do and they love what they do. So therefore it's not work. So if this is your first time watching the show, some of our past guests have been Elvira Guzman of LVG PR. She co-wrote Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man with Steve Harvey and Shirley Strawberry. Shanti Das, the hip-hop professional of Press Reset Entertainment. Cupid, the R&B singer and line dance party king. Also, he has the exercise line, Q-Aerobics. Felicia Butterfield-Jones of Ween. Most recently, we had Mario Armstrong of the Today Show. Last week, we had Christine St. Ville of Moms in Charge. And we a couple weeks ago had Dr. Rachel Ross of The Doctors on television. So our guest tonight is Christen Rochon of Divas and Dorks. Welcome to the show, Christen.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
So let's get right into it, because Christen has quite an amazing life and I'm sure journey to go with it. First of all, I'll tell you, I just met Christen in person at Essence Festival last month. So most of my guests I know, but this is somebody I don't know. So I'm excited about this interview too, to get to know her better. So let's get started. So Christen, first of all, Christen and I are both from Detroit and we're both Spartans from Michigan State. So I knew she'd be a good guest anyway. So Christen, when you grew up in Detroit, what were your aspirations?
Growing up, you hear me okay? I took the air.
Yes.
Okay. So, that's growing up in Detroit. Growing up in Detroit, childhood just like everyone else's. I was the oldest of 7 kids. So I learned how to get out and hustle early because, if you don't work, you don't eat. So I think I just had a great work ethic as a child. So I always took a job. My first job was a police cadet, and I used to walk, senior citizens from their apartment complex to like the store and back and that sort of thing. And then, went to Pella Magnet Middle School in the heart of Detroit, passed tech, green, go white, class of 98. And after that, Michigan State. So I think, just being in Detroit, it kind of gave me that hustler's mentality, knowing that I had to work out and I had to get it. And I think I took it with me in college and even today.
Oh, we have somebody on Periscope. She's from Renaissance. Right? We might need you to put the earbuds in because it's like you were going in and out, kind of.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, well, thank you.
No problem.
So I know that you majored in marketing at Michigan State. So what did you think you were going to do with a marketing degree?
In marketing, I always wanted a person that created ads. I'm not sure if you remember the show Who's the Boss with Tony, was it Tony Michelli? And
yes,
Angela Bowers. I always wanted to be Angela Bowers. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to create commercials. And my mom said that even as a kid, I used to always be just completely enwrapped whenever I saw television commercials. So that was just something I always wanted to do. So that was really the plan. The plan was always go in marketing, go in high school, go to college, graduate with a degree in advertising, and work in an ad agency. That was the plan. And it didn't quite work out.
So did you intern at Michigan State, with advertising agencies or marketing agencies?
You know what? I did not intern with any agencies. After I took a few classes and figured out what they do, and like working in an agency on the creative side, it was more of an office type job. When I was in Michigan State, I literally held down as many as 6 or 7 jobs at once. And I kind of got out there early into like sales, into just that freelancer life. So I never wanted to go back to sitting in front of the desk, sitting in front of 5 type of deal. So I really knew like early on, okay, working at an agency is glamorous as they made it on TV.
He said it wasn't as glamorous.
No,
well, I will say though, I have friends that worked in that field, and they had the best perks ever.
Really?
Like I've never heard of jobs that, yeah, they were, you know, going and getting stuff from, you know, going and getting drinks and, you know, all sorts of free stuff, free shoes, free.
Well, you know, I'll say this. My first job out of college, like in college, I worked for the student newspaper. I worked for the Union Activities Board. I worked for, I mean, goodness, I worked for the student union. Pretty much, we brought Destiny's Child to campus. We did a Eminem 8 Mile Road screening. Like, we did all the cool stuff. So it was almost like, if I'm doing cool stuff now in college, I want a job that continues to do cool stuff. And I just didn't really see that agency life, especially when you come in on the ground level, being it. So that was it.
Are you on Periscope right now?
I am. Can you see me? I am.
Turn the volume off on yours. Turn the volume, because that's why we keep getting the twice. Because everyone's texting me, we're getting an echo, we're getting an echo. I'm like, well, I don't know why.
Okay, so you said turn the volume down on my Periscope?
Yeah, on your phone.
Okay.
I think that'll help.
How about now?
Okay. Now we don't have.
I'm still hearing the feedback though.
Okay, well, we don't hear it on this end, so I think we're okay. Are we getting any feedback? Somebody say something.
I'm on the documentation right now. Make sure you tune in. We're gonna have questions.
Okay, Alicia said the feedback is distracting. You still can hear it? I guess she can. Okay, I'm gonna turn it off. Okay, you guys need to go to the link and check us out if you want to watch the rest of the show. It's just getting good.
I just logged on.
Yes, me too. Okay, so so it's funny you say that. So when I was at Michigan State, because actually you came, I don't think you were there then when I was there. Wait a minute, yes you were. You were there 1 year while I was there.
Okay, yep. I was there 98 to 2002.
Yeah, I graduated in 99.
Okay.
So so I was a part of Ebony Productions, and we did Biggie, Scarface, Too Short, Outkast, and the Death Row Tour.
What? Oh yeah, y'all did it big.
No, you said Destiny's Child. That blew me away. I was like,
you know, that was before they were Destiny's Child. So it was like
they were still new artists.
Yeah. That's when they were still, you know, wet behind the ears. That's when it was 4 of them.
Right. The original 4?
The original children. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, so that's what we did at Michigan State, and that kind of got me into like, oh, I should do this. This is fun. I like this.
Right? Like once you get a taste of it, you don't want to go back to normal life.
Exactly. I was like, I don't ever need to sit in the audience again. I can stand right on the side of the stage and enjoy the show just fabulously. Who needs to go back to a seat?
Exactly.
I'm sure. And so actually that's where the whole idea came for how I ended up starting my entertainment company, because I always knew, I was like, I am going to do that. I'm totally going to do that. My sister said there's still an echo. Well, we done turned everything off. I don't know where the echo's coming from. Let me put in my earbuds. Oh, okay. So my sister's my executive producer.
Okay.
She keeps things going.
No, that's good. I hear no echo.
Uh-oh, she can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
I can. I'm saying I hear no echo.
It was like you were just.
Oh, I was saying I don't hear an echo.
Uh-oh, we lost the volume. Speak.
Hello? Hi. One.
I can't hear you. I should not have messed with that.
Oh no. Hello? Anything?
What happened to my volume?
Hello? Hello? Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Can anyone hear me? Hello? 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 I think I heard that.
Okay, speak now.
Okay, can you hear me?
You're muted. Take yours off mute.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Okay, speak now.
1, 2, 3. Can you hear me?
I can't. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
And I can't hear you at all. Crazy.
Okay.
Talk.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Can't hear you at all. I lost
I
my
can
volume.
hear you.
Completely lost it.
Oh no. I can hear you fine.
Oh, I can't hear a word. Not a word. I should have left it alone. Let me try. No, that's not the volume. It's not the sound. I don't know. This is so strange. This has never happened before.
Oh no.
Okay, so the audience clearly can hear me. My sister said they can.
Okay. Can they hear me? Okay. Now someone texted me and said they can't hear me.
But I can't hear you. Okay, I'm gonna go out and come back in and try this again. Okay. 1 second. Hello?
Hello? Hello, hello, hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hello?
Oh no, I still can't hear you?
I can hear you. And I think the audience can,
but I can't hear you.
Yeah, and the audience.
Weird. 1 second. Let me try something else with the levels.
Okay, now the audience can hear us both.
Right, but this is going to be very odd. Okay, everyone, I understand you can hear us. I can't hear her. So this is going to be very interesting because I can't hear a word she's saying. So, but I'm going to keep going because I'm a professional. So So you did those shows at Michigan State, and that teased you into kind of the entertainment world. So when you graduated, did you have an intern? Did you have a job already waiting for you? What did you do then? Because I know you did some work in radio as well.
No, I had no internship. I studied abroad. I was in Rome in Italy for about for a summer. But other than that, I did not have an internship. I graduated in 2002 without a job, did not know exactly what I was going to do. And I ended up just answering kind of a cattle call where the radio station, Clear Channel, which is now iHeartMedia, we're looking for ad executives, really sales reps, marketing reps. And I went in just knowing that all the experience that I had in newspaper and then producing the events and doing advertising for the events, and ended up getting my first job working for the #1 urban station in Detroit, which is WJLB. And that's kind of how I got started in the whole entertainment media world. You couldn't hear anything.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Love WJLB. I'm on a slight delay, but I'm listening.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that was it. That was it. That was my journey into radio. And, I think radio is definitely a great place to learn so much. Like, I learned a lot about sales, a lot about marketing, a lot about marketing the influencer or marketing the personality.
I hear you, yes, but
okay.
It's a little behind, so.
Okay. So yeah, I learned a lot about that, and that's really been, I think, really the edge that I had in kind of applying all of those lessons learned and all those skills learned into my business today and marketing myself as Divas and Dorks.
So how long were you in radio?
I was in radio close to 10, actually a little bit over 10 years. I got started in 2002 out of college. And then I really did it all up until, I'll take it back. Yeah, a little bit over 10 years. Started in 2002, but I finished up my radio career full time in 2012. Okay. And have been doing some consulting work on the side since. But yeah, 10 plus years. I'm here.
Okay. Just put it on mute as long as I can hear you, then I'm done.
Okay.
Okay, so how long, I'm sorry, so how long were you in radio?
I was in radio for 10 plus years.
I'm sorry, don't hit me because I can't hear.
Okay.
How long were you in radio?
I was in radio for 10 plus years. Started in 2002. Worked iHeartMedia in Detroit. I was promotions director over 3 stations for Radio 1 in Detroit. Then I went down to Charlotte, North Carolina, worked for 2 of the urban stations down there. Then I got a promotion to New York and worked for CBS New York, all up until I decided to go full time with Divas and Dorks.
Wow, that's very impressive, very impressive. So now you said it. How did you start Divas and Dorks? And where did you come up with this fabulous name that is so catchy?
Well, Divas and Dorks was something that I wanted to do for a while now when I learned what blogs were and just working in radio for years. I would be online every morning going to fashion websites, technology websites, lifestyle websites. And I mean, honestly, every morning I would probably get to work 7:30, 8 o'clock. I didn't start work till maybe 10 o'clock because I was online looking at all the blogs, all the websites, trying to get and absorb as much information as possible. And I said, well, man, it was a site that just had a little bit of this and a little bit of that on there. It would just really cut my web surfing in half. And that was really it. It was really just an idea of aggregating content that I would like to see. And that was it. Like, if I could just do that. And I was like, well, you know, if it's going to have a little mix of fashion and style, and it's going to have a little mix of technology, Divas and Dorks, that works. I kicked around a few ideas, of course, Chic Geeks and that good stuff. But yeah, that's how Divas and Dorks came to be. And I actually launched the site in 2009, but I didn't do anything with it. It kind of lay dormant because during that time I was getting the promotion to the New York office versus in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't really know if I wanted to pursue it full time. I knew I wanted to do it, but I just knew it was going to take work. And June 2010, and it's crazy, like, I'm going to try to break this story down really briefly. Randomly, I met a lady who worked for BET, literally on the train going to my uncle's church in New York. She overheard me talking to my cousin saying, yeah, I'm going to this church. And she was like, oh, well, if you're going to church, I'm just going to go with you because this is my first time going and I don't know anybody there. Well, it was my first time going. So it was like two newbies going to a new church. So we went to the church, BT, we just hit it off really well. We just talked and talked and talked. And then she was like, hey, you know, the BET Awards is coming up at the end of the month. You should come out. If you come out, don't worry about your hotel. I do promotions and handle like all the on-site activations. Just come out. You can help me out. You can kind of see what's going on behind the scenes. It'd be something cool to check out. I was like, okay, sure, cool, I'll go. I went, checked it out, helped her out. Noticed that Ford was having a bloggers lounge. Now, this was back in 2012. So, you know, you had your big blogs out there, but there weren't as many small blogs out there. So it was like this bloggers lounge. What is this? Long story short, my first time out there, I experienced this huge activation that Ford had backstage at the BET Awards. And it just opened my eyes to the possibility that bloggers can work with brands and the type of activations that brands put together in order to reach influencers. And I said, well, I got a blog. And literally my first blog post was a recap of that experience the end of June. That was my first real life experience. First, little did I know that, you know, was going to create a relationship that really just lasted and really just flourished. And Ford and Lincoln are one of my biggest supporters, biggest partners. And it all kind of came about from a random meeting on a train to church on a Sunday.
That is so amazing. That is so good. And I think, and what I told people in the pre-show that I did for Periscope, I said that right now you have this partnership with Lincoln and Essence Magazine. So see, that's what I was talking about. Wow. That is so cool.
Yeah, that's how I started.
So 2012, you did this blog post.
That was it, 2012, June 2012. And by December 2012, I was telling my full-time job, peace out. I don't have any more travel time. I saved enough money. I'm going to just go on a whim and try this thing out. If it works, it works. If not, I can always come back. But it was one of those things that I definitely had to do. I had to go out and leap out on faith.
And you have to do that. I keep telling people, you just have to, you know, I don't care who you believe in. You got to believe in something, though. If you believe in nothing, you'll fall for anything. But the God that I believe in, if you just take that first step, you'd be amazed. The next step will just show up and you just keep going. And you, next thing you know, you at the top of the mountain and you didn't even know how you got there, but you got there. So
I believe it wholeheartedly. I think I am a walking testimony of leaping out on faith, honestly. And just to your point, I really do believe that God wants to see you work in your faith. Like, he likes to see you put your faith to the test. And the moment that you do, that lets him know, oh, okay, bet. You got me, I got you. And it works out. It always does.
It does. It really does. And that is, I mean, that story is so amazing. So when are you writing your book?
You know, girl, but honestly, I'm going to be honest. I've seriously been thinking about writing a book. And not just because of the Divas and Dork journey, but just my personal journey. It's a whole novel of stuff that even my closest friends don't know about. So it's like, I really just kind of want to share and let, you know, girls that grew up like me in Detroit, or just girls that kind of grew up awkward or a little weird or a little introverted, just let them know it's going to be okay. Put your trust in God. Trust me, it'll all work out. So I talk a lot with my hands. I'm noticing, I'm seeing in the corner just a lot of this.
No. And you know what? The funniest thing, when I was on the Oprah Winfrey Show the first time, my sister, she texted me and was like, Renee, you and those hands. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, when you watch it, because she saw it before I did, when you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. And I was like, oh my God. And so I forgot what interview I was doing, but I sat there literally and held my hand so tight. And I was like, I am not going to have my hand. Oh, I know. When I was on News One Now with Roland Martin, it was Skype. And I was like, I am not going to move my hands out of this box. I said, I know the man will be like, what is she doing? So I was like,
what's going on?
Right. I'm just going to sit here and hold them very tight. But Foodie Engineer, my lovely sister, whom you've met, has a wonderful question. How in the world did you save for your dream in New York City? That's a great question.
Listen, I lived in New York City. When I first got there, I was like, okay, I'm going to do the roommate thing, because finding a single apartment was crazy. Like, that was just a ridiculous experience. So it was really kind of easy, you know, having a roommate, split the bills down the middle, lived in Harlem. Rent wasn't like crazy expensive. By being in radio when I first got there, every night there was an industry event. So there's your free food.
I was about to say free food.
No, really. It was like, there's your free food. There's your, I mean, you always left with a gift bag. I stopped accepting gift bags. Like, unless it's like a really big event. Because you end up with
too much junk.
It's like a cemetery of headstones, just of the gift bags. And, you know, the first 2 years I would just regift stuff. You know, I would come home for the holidays and say, you get some hairspray, you get some hairspray, you get this special new deodorant from Secret, you get just beauty supply, just all of this stuff. And then now I'm just like, no, I don't even have any place to keep it. Can't do it. So believe it or not, between the job and getting the freebies, it kind of worked itself out. I'll be honest though, my first few months, call me Sister Dollar Pizza, because I was at the Dollar Pizza spots at least a few times a week, getting a slice and a Sprite. And that's what I lived on for a while. So, you know, it wasn't all caviar dreams and champagne in New York when I first got there. Not at all. Not at all.
That is funny. So how long were you there before you quit the job?
I was there. I actually started March 2010.
Okay.
Because this is another thing too. I moved to New York March 2010. I knew I was turning 30. I just got out of a relationship that was whack. And I was like, okay, I want to go for my dreams, because this is what a lot of people don't know. I came out in 98, high school, came out college 2002. I want to say around 2005, I got offered a position to be a copywriter for Playboy magazine in New York. Mind you, this good little Christian girl out of Detroit working for Playboy. My mama was like, yeah, no, this is not it. This is not what God wants you to do. I'm like, Mama, but it's a real job in New York City. She's like, this ain't it. This ain't it. So I kind of passed up on that opportunity, which led me to Charlotte, North Carolina, which led me to New York. But yeah, so I ended up finally getting to New York, March 2010, 30th birthday. worked for the radio station from March 2010 until December. And that was it.
I mean, that's very impressive. Very impressive. So when you finally were full-time Divas and Dorks, what were you doing? You were just blogging and then getting brand partnerships and...
Yeah, I really want to attribute just the fact that Divas and Dorks is such a niche. Honestly, we were talking about technology and style when it wasn't cool, before everybody was doing it. And it was, you know, like I said, personally, it was just me aggregating content that I wanted to see. But little did I know that there were brands that wanted to speak to women, wanted to speak to audiences that made decisions on the household technology purchases, on the household automobile purchases. And because of that, I really didn't have to do a lot of pitching myself. A lot of these brands found me. And I'll be honest, because I'm an introvert and I've always been raised, don't you be vain, and, you know, make sure you're humble. It was very difficult for me to pitch myself to people. In sales, I've learned how to pitch DJs or how to pitch these on-air personalities and pitch them for opportunities. But it's kind of hard trying to pitch yourself and kind of say, hey, this is Christen.
Who are you telling?
No, that's real life, real life. So luckily, and really it's a blessing, because I haven't had to say, hey, look at me, I can do this. This is how many followers I have. This is what I write about on my blog. Luckily, people have been able to just go to the site, see the opportunities that I've had with other brands, see what I've delivered with other brands, and say, oh, this person's cool. I think I want to work with her. And another big thing, too, is having a good reputation. Like, people underestimate how important that is. If you have a good reputation, that knocks out 50 to 75% of the selling that you have to do for yourself, because you have other people that will sell you for you. So that was a gem. I just dropped that. I might write that in a book or something. I don't know.
Well, you know, you were preaching to the choir, because I started the entertainment company 10 years ago, which is so crazy, in 2005. And I could pitch my clients. I could get them anywhere. But then when it came to me in 2013, having to start to pitch myself, I asked somebody, I go, how do I do it? They're like, but you got so-and-so. I go, but that's not me.
Right.
They said, would you write it for me? Like, I was lost. Like, how do I do mine? You know, so yeah. I understand. It was very, like, and then it was funny when I did do my one sheet. I finished it. I sent it to my friend. My friend goes, where's Oprah? I go, what do you mean, where's Oprah? She goes, Renee, you were on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Why is this not on here? I go, oh. Christen,
yeah, that should be front and center.
But I don't know. I'm not one to push and sell myself like that. So I was like,
yeah.
Okay, you know.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Well, it's not hard for some people, but for, you know, us regular people from Detroit, it's like, you know, like I said, I can blow up everybody, but myself, it's like, I've worked so hard to I really had to get back. And I'm an introvert too, so I understand. And I was like, that's difficult, but it's something, you know, I figured out my 30-second pitch and was like, okay, we can do this. We can do this. And I can network my butt off. But when it came to like pitching to, you know, to write for these, you know, for me to write for Madame Noir, I'm like, what am I going to say? And then, you know, so, and then when people started saying yes, I go, okay, maybe I do have something here. And
I think this is working.
Exactly. I was like, maybe we can keep it this way. And yeah, so I completely understand that, but that is really great. But your website is very nice. I mean, very well put together. It's clean. Yeah, very easy to navigate, because I'm one of those people that goes and looks and like, this sucks.
Well, I'm going to tell you.
So where do you find this button? You know what I mean? I'm one of those people. I'm like scrolling like, okay, don't have time. Next person. I
truly believe in not reinventing the wheel. And before I left CBS Radio, they put in millions and millions of dollars of figuring out how to design their websites. And they rolled out this platform across all the sites across the country. And I was like, oh, okay, so y'all pretty much did the hard work for me. Thank you. And I just kind of took that same format and just added a few things that I like. But Divas and Dorks are about to get a makeover. So it's that time. It's time for a makeover. So we'll be.
I made mine over last year, but I I'm working on the web developer who's going to do it, but it looks like we're going to do a makeover too this year too. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
So tell me, where did the other websites come from? Divas and Heels and Divas That Travel. Is that what it's called?
Destinations and Divas Driving Heels. They were really just kind of birthed out of Divas and Dorks. Once I got started doing a lot of these just partnerships with companies, I was doing a lot more traveling. And then I was like, well, I still want to share those experiences as well. But I did not want to clutter the Divas and Dorks brand. I wanted to make sure that it was style meets technology. That's what it's known for. So they just kind of birthed out. And Divas Driving Heels is all things wheels, all things style for women by women. And it's an automotive blog, once again, run by women. And it's, you know, it gives on what we want to know about cars and what we want to know about vehicles before we purchase them. And, you know, I've worked with, you know, tons of the automotive brands to just kind of bring our voice to them so they can hear what we want to see, and then also share what they have to offer with the audience as well. And the same thing goes for Divas on Destinations, which is our travel channel, which has, you know, a lot of girlfriend getaways, a lot of information about traveling, packing, fare glitches, that sort of thing you can find on divasondestinations.com.
So you guys, if you have any questions for either one of us, you can ask questions in the bottom of this window here, right about over here. It should say be a participant in the audience. Click on that box. It'll take you to another box, and then there'll be some white squares, 9 white squares in the corner. Click on those. It'll say Q&A. Click Q&A. You'll see the window drop and to the right. Type in your question at the bottom. And if you're on Google Hangout, there's a little button right on our screen that says Q&A, somewhere in the middle there in the bottom. And so if you click on that, you can ask questions. They'll pop up on my screen and I'll take them. And if you tweet them, I may see them too. If you tweet them to me at Ask Dr. Renee, they might pop up on my screen and I might catch it. So there's how you can ask questions, because I'm sure you have questions.
I have to shout out my friend Patrice, who's watching. She asked, how do we ask questions? So I think you just got the answer if you're still on. So yeah, feel free to ask away.
Please ask away. She is a wealth of knowledge, clearly. So 5 years later, did you ever imagine that you would have done all the stuff you've done, met the people you've met, worked with the brands?
Not at all. Not at all. Honestly, I think maybe after the first year, I probably thought I would be going back in the radio. Then after the second year, it was like, wait a minute, I'm still here. Like, I'm still able to pay my bills. I'm living good. Wait a minute. So just each year, God has been just progressing, just his blessings. And I've been able to just learn and grow, because one thing about this business too is you always have to be able to evolve. I mean, you could just see, just if you want to start about talking about the social media platforms that were out in 2010 versus the ones that are out now. So it's like you always have to be able to evolve. You always have to be able to, you know, adjust. And those who are the ones that are still surviving, are the ones that are still thriving. So yeah, you know, it's really been a blessing.
So Carmen Garner has a question. I'm going crazy with building this website. Is simplicity better?
I absolutely think that simplicity is better. Definitely, first and foremost, content is king. Consistency is queen. So you have to have great content. You have to have the type of content that people won't find everywhere else. And then also you have to be consistent. Even if you feel like you're just blogging to yourself, don't worry. Trust me. When I tell you I started the blog, I really just thought I was just aggregating content that I wanted to see. I wasn't even asking my friends, hey, have you gone to the site yet? It was just like, I publish a blog post and be like, oh, that's interesting news. Let me check it out. It's like, well, you just wrote that. You know you just wrote that, right? But it was really just making sure that I had consistent content that I knew that I would like and I would enjoy. So, I mean, Carmen, my suggestion would be just make sure that you're consistent and make sure you have the content up there. And as long as it is accessible in a simple and an easy to find format, you should be fine.
And then Talk to Amber said, loving learning more about your story, Christen.
Oh, thank you, Amber. I think me and Amber are like connected. I'm not sure if it's Periscope or Snapchat or Twitter or Facebook, but thank you, Amber. I truly appreciate it.
So, like I said, 5 years later, so just run across some of the things you've done outside of just writing a blog, some of the other things you've done. I, of course, went to your YouTube channel and checked it out, but for those that haven't seen.
You know, I'm gonna just share a little secret. I post on Instagram, Divas and Dorks, and I like to go back and kind of relive my life because it's sometimes really difficult to be in the moment and live in the moment. And I think that's so important, and that's something that I'm really striving towards doing nowadays. But I was just like kind of going through my Instagram feed and just looking up. I mean, in 2012, I was invited to attend the Olympics on behalf of Samsung as a Samsung global blogger. And it was only, I think it was like 24 of us out of the whole wide world. And we were in London for 2 weeks, and I got a chance to go to Paris for the first time. And this is just from a little blog. And I mean, even that experience, just thinking about it now, is just kind of overwhelming. Like, oh my gosh, like, dude, you got passport stamps because of your little blog. And it was really, you know, one of those moments that I'll never forget and I'll cherish just always because, you know, stuff like that doesn't happen for a girl from Detroit. That's not, you know, some of us don't even get out of the city, let alone the country. And, you know, that was really special for me. Another thing was just working with Ford. I've done a Escape to New Orleans, which is a web series with Essence Magazine promoting the Ford Escape. That was back in, I think, 2012 in New Orleans. And also, since then, I've worked with Toyota and Essence, creating a girlfriend's getaway where we just kind of took over the city of New York and checked out some just really cool, fun things like trapeze school. And we did a salsa dance class and just in a cooking class. It was just a really neat experience. And then just recently with Lincoln, working with Lincoln and Essence Magazine, we just completed our Journey the City series where Lincoln and Essence awarded 3 lucky winners in New York, Atlanta, and DC the opportunity to just kind of rediscover their city with surprise celebrity guests. And the first 2 episodes are live. The first episode featured June Ambrose, and that was in New York City. And then the second episode actually featured celebrity photographer Derek Blanks, and that was in DC. So the last episode is coming soon, and it's in Atlanta, and the guest was phenomenal. And I can't wait for folks to check that out.
Well, it's funny you said June Ambrose. June Ambrose is from Antigua, and that's where my father's from.
Oh.
And we actually met her in person at Essence this year, and we had tweeted before, and she's like, "I'm so glad that you stopped me and said something," and she was really nice. I like June.
She's really nice. Like, I mean, you style Jay-Z, and you're a designer, you're author. I mean, you've done all of these things, and she's so down to earth. Mm-hmm. And so sweet, and I appreciate that. Absolutely,
definitely. So that is, I mean, that just all of that stuff sounds like it's so much fun. So what is like your typical day like? I'm sure there's not a typical day, but
there's no such thing as a typical day. I mean, I have those really busy days or weeks where I'm on the road constantly. And then luckily, like now I'm kind of in a hiatus. I'm doing a lot of groundwork and developing. I have a program that's launching in Detroit, trending in technology. And then just, you know, I have additional brands under the Divas and Dorks umbrella that will be launching fairly soon. So right now it's a lot of just working, developing, getting the plan set, a lot of glasses in the computer. For right now. But honestly, a typical day, if there would be one, would probably be, you know, me getting up out at some event, which is either a launch or, you know, some sort, or a press conference of some sort in the morning, and then maybe one again in the afternoon. And then in the middle, probably trying to get some blogging in, trying to get some work done. I really don't have a typical day, but you know, it varies. I think that's another reason why I've been able to do this for so long, is because I'm the type of person that gets bored really easy. I mean, I although I'm a creature of habit, I can't stand just habitual schedules. So, you know, I think that's one of the reasons why I've been able to just do this for so long, is because there'll be months on end where I'm traveling back to back to back to back, living out of a suitcase, and then there'll maybe, you know, 3 or 4 weeks where I'm just sitting and I'm able to recuperate and I'm able to strategize and figure out the next plan before things start jumping again.
Sounds very exciting. Very exciting.
It is. It's tiring though, honey. I'm telling you, last week I was down for the count. Diva had a summer flu and 2 eye infections. How you get 2 eye infections? I don't know, but but that happened.
That is crazy. Do you want to talk more about your what you're launching for Detroit?
Oh, sure. Well, Trending in Technology is a initiative and a program that I initially spoke about with Verizon. I have a partnership with Verizon, and I shared just some of the passions and activations that I'm a part of regarding STEM education, not just for girls, but for children, and not just for children, but really children in impoverished neighborhoods. I grew up poor. You know, I know what that's like. I know what, you know, summer lunch program is like. I live that life. So my thing was, okay, how can we empower kids, but not just empower kids with information or with knowledge, but give them tools and information and skills that they can use to empower themselves and make money for themselves. And right now, STEM education, it doesn't cost $1 billion. All they have to do is learn the basics and grow from that. And if they already have just a little bit of interest, then that's all they need. Because when I was younger, I did have an interest in it, but my strong suit wasn't so much science or technology. I went more so of the creative writing and advertising and marketing lane. But if I would have just got encouraged a little bit more to go into that STEM field, then I probably could have been, you know, an engineer. I probably could have been, you know, someone that designs or a developer. So I think right now that's something that I'm really passionate about empowering kids with. And what Trending in Technology is, it's a program that aggregates education, not just for children, but for their parents as well. So, you know, sometimes you have programs that deal with just girls. Sometimes you have programs that deal with, you know, just older adults. Well, this curriculum that we're working on is going to be able basically for entire families to come together and learn how to develop, learn coding skills, and learn those skills that are not just only make money for them, but that empower them to share that knowledge with others.
That sounds really cool and much needed, because as you know, of course, you know that, you know, the Google and all these Facebook, they don't have a whole lot of people that look like us working for them, unfortunately. Right. So, you know, that's really important.
Yeah, and it's really a passion of mine. And like at church, I met a woman who I've known for years, and I just knew she was in the creative field. And she was like, oh yeah, I'm a chemical engineer. Mind blown. Because I'm like, no, I've known you all my life practically. What do you mean you're a chemical engineer? And it's like, I've been meeting women that are in engineering and in the STEM field. And it's just like, it's amazing. It's insightful. It's inspiring. And I feel like once young children, once young boys see that, you know, you can do it too. You just need that opportunity. You just need to have just a little bit of interest, because once you get involved, I mean, it's going to spread like wildfire. And that's what I'm really hoping that Trending in Technology does.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. Now, I have to say this because, of course, my mother is from Detroit, and I know how she thinks about things. So what did your family think about you quitting your good job? I'm
going to tell you this. I'm the oldest. So I'm the responsible one. Went to high school, graduated. Went to college, graduated. It was like I knew that I had a certain path that I had to fulfill just to be an example for my siblings. And that was important to me. However, I think after like working for 5 years, most of my younger siblings kind of saw what you're supposed to do. And I just wanted to start living for me. Like I said, when I realized, okay, I could always go back to this, I always had a plan B. Like plan B would be just going back to the field that I worked in. I was successful at it. It wasn't like it was a job that I was like doing horrible at and I wanted to leave anyway. It was a job that I was really successful at and I was really being groomed for a management position. However, it wasn't my passion. It wasn't what I dreamed. It wasn't something that just I would wake up and just be instantly excited about. So when I decided to leave my job, I don't even think I told anyone. I didn't. I think I just kind of kept the facade going like, yeah, you know, I'm just busy. Got to talk to a client. I can't talk right now. I'll call you back. It was like one of those, you know, kind of kept the facade up. And then after a while, I could just kind of had to say like, okay, hey, yeah, you know, I don't work for the radio station anymore. I've been doing Divas and Dorks full time. And they were like, well, what's Divas and Dorks? Because of course your family has no idea. They just think you're tinkering on the internet all day.
Right.
So, you know, I had to explain to them. And, you know, even to this day, sometimes I almost feel like I have to validate what I do by saying, hey, you saw me on TV One, right? Or, hey, you see this is the video that I did with Lincoln and Essence Magazine. Like, no, I really have a job. Seriously. It's like sometimes I feel like I have to kind of get that seal of approval just to let them know, no, I'm still being an adult. I'm just, you know, being an adult and kind of navigating this entrepreneur life on my own terms.
Now, anybody else in your family entrepreneurs?
No.
Okay.
No one else, so they don't know this life.
Right. Well, no, I mean, Detroit's not really the most entrepreneurial of towns either, you know.
Yeah,
I tell everybody, I went to the 8 Mile screening in England because I lived in England for a year.
Okay.
And I went in London. And what's his name? I forgot his name right now, but Brian Grazer was there, and he said every person in Detroit's a rapper. And I was like, so when they had the Q&A session, I stood up and said, hi, I'm from Detroit. And everyone in the audience was like, you know, and I go, you know, we were very concerned about what we were going to look like on screen, but you did a great job. I enjoyed the movie, but not every Detroiter's a rapper. Better analogy would be everyone knows somebody that works in the car industry, but not a
shut him down.
Right.
Shut him down.
And girl, he gave me the craziest look when I left. I was like, I said, Daddy, I wanted to tell him the truth. Oh, plus I was in medical school and I'm like, and I'm going to be a doctor. And no. So I said, but no, everybody knows somebody that's connected to the auto industry in Detroit, of course.
Absolutely.
But I was like, that rapper thing? No, you know, not so much.
You know, there are a lot of misconceptions about Detroit. And a lot of them. And I get personally offended. And I think another kind of just something that I have in me is I just want to prove and show, no, you know, you may see the bad Detroit, but no, that's not Detroit. I'm Detroit. You're Detroit. There are so many people that have come out of Detroit that are so successful and a true representation of what Detroit is. And even today, like the city is turning around and, you know, I'm just so excited just with trending and technology to be a part of it and just so excited to see, you know, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years from now, it's going to be a complete total difference. And I'm excited to be a part of it.
Yeah, they have a lot going on with technology. We have another question that came in from Patrice Banks, Girls Auto Clinic. How do you maintain your business on your own? Most businesses fail after a year because their inability to maintain behind the scenes.
Well, one, let me say, Patrice Banks, I am a huge fan. Girls Auto Clinic, I get the emails. I think what you're doing is amazing. And I would love to connect with you. Divas Driving Heels, Girls Auto Clinic, coming soon. Okay, I had to get that out there because I really am a fan of what she's doing. You know, honestly, I kind of became obsessive with my business. And I think that to an extent, entrepreneurs have to be obsessive. I think sometimes you may have to sacrifice, you know, personal time, and you may have to sacrifice, you know, that hanging out, going out with your girlfriends, hanging with boo, hanging with bae, just to make sure that you have all of your plans and that you have all of your strategies in order and ready to execute. And then just on the flip side, I think having, I'm just going to be honest, a serious prayer life about your business and about not just your business, but about your efforts as well. Because a lot of things that I've learned have just been based just on a heavy prayer life and just talking to God like, God, I don't know what I'm doing. I need you to let me know if this is the right move to be making. Because if not, this could fall, all this, you know, this can literally fall down this entire road that I'm not meant to go on. And I think that between that and between just really being on top of everything and going through everything with a fine-tooth comb, that's just something that I've been able to experience as an entrepreneur within my first year. And then I'll say this too, having a great team behind you. I think that that's something that all entrepreneurs are challenged with. I know myself, I had trouble. I've gone through, you know, 2 personal assistants, and, you know, it was a challenge finding people that understood the way that I worked, that understood, you know, the way that I communicate, that were as passionate as I am. And I think once you're able to find those people that are as passionate about your business as you are, then that's half the battle as well.
I completely agree. Completely agree. Did you look for mentors, or did you have mentors in place when you went off and did this?
No, believe it or not. And I hate that. Like, that was one of my biggest, I guess that would be a regret that I have. Like, I wish I had a mentor in they didn't even have to be in blogging, just someone who was an entrepreneur that could kind of show me the ropes. Because I was in radio for so many years, and, you know, primarily what I did was, you know, creating ad campaigns, selling web campaigns, creating endorsement opportunities for the on-air personalities and yada, yada, yada. I was pretty much running my own business because it was 100% commission. I did not have a base salary. Once again, you don't work, you don't eat. So, you know, did all of that through college, did that through, you know, working the radio for 10 years. So I kind of had built up a work ethic of working, because if you don't work, you don't eat. And that's just the mentality that I've always had.
Daryl Lee Jackson would like to know, what has been your most fulfilling experience as an entrepreneur since you left CBS Radio?
Oh, wow. I think one of my most fulfilling experiences, oh my God, I better not cry either, was, because I feel it coming on, was I was actually able to take my mom to Santa Barbara. I was able to take my mom to wine country as well as to Lake Tahoe. And, you know, we rode in first class. It was really just like a first class experience. And I did not have to pay a dime. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. And it was like, yes, I am earning Best Daughter Award points because I just took my mama across country, and ain't none of my brothers and sisters did that yet. And that was just one of those moments where it wasn't a, you know, milestone in ad revenue or anything like that for the business, but it was just a personal thing that I felt like, okay, I know I wouldn't have been able to do this working in radio. Like, I knew I wouldn't have had the opportunity or been afforded the opportunity to share these experiences with my mom elsewhere. So that was one of the most rewarding experiences. I think second would probably be going to the Olympics in 2012 as well.
I'm sure that would have to be high up there. We can't let you go without telling us more about Digital Sorority.
All right. Well, yes, Digital Sorority. I co-founded Digital Sorority with Ty Alexander and Kayla Walker. And what it is it's a digital group of influencers run by female multicultural bloggers like myself, Ty, and Kayla. And what we wanted to do is afford opportunities for brands to connect with influencers as well as influencers to connect with brands, but create those relationships from experiences that we've had. So Ty works in beauty, that's like her main beat. Kayla is fashion, I'm technology, lifestyle, and we really wanted to bring those opportunities to other women bloggers like us that may have not had, you know, those opportunities early on in their career. So we really want to just kind of share the wealth, share the experience, but also create a support group of women that truly do support each other, truly do root for each other, truly share with each other, and hopefully we can build a community of women that go up together. So, because when one of us go up, we all go up.
Exactly. I keep trying to preach that. And not to mention, I say it'd be awfully lonely at the top. So we should all try to get up there together so we not by ourselves. Is there any last thing that you want to say to somebody who just started their blog today or they're about to start it tomorrow to encourage them and they would like to one day leave their, as my sister called it, 759 job?
Absolutely. I'll say this. If you want to create, you know, your space on the web, you have to have a unique voice. You have to think about what makes you different, what makes you unique, what makes you special from someone else who could be talking about the exact same thing that you're sharing. And the moment that you realize that, and the moment that you come into your own identity of knowing who you are and what your voice is, then if you stick to that, no matter if you're blogging about, you could be blogging about goldfish, stiletto, platform shoes. If that's your thing, do your thing, because trust me, there's somebody out there that wants to hear about you talk about that. And I think that's just really just a passion that I have, because like I said, when I started, there was nobody talking about that, about style, about technology. And if I would have listened to other people, Divas and Dorks probably wouldn't even be a thing. Because I remember just sharing this with people and they were like, what? Yeah, okay, really? Like they really they gave me side eyes forever, honey. So just, you know, believe in yourself, stay true to your own unique voice, and your audience will come. Your audience will follow, but you have to stay consistent.
Thank you so much, Christen, for being on the show this evening. Everyone, if she has motivated and inspired you, please let us know. Please put comments below on YouTube, or you can send me a tweet. You can email me. Excuse me. But I would love to hear from you. I think that this was an amazing story. Like I said, I was learning today too. So it was a great story, and we thank her for coming. Next week, we have Arian Simone, who I think is also a technician, but I could be wrong. But she's also from Detroit. Arian Simone will be on next Sunday. She's a publicist, and she does marketing too. And she has worked on several movies that we've all seen this Christmas. I think what is it called? Ride Along, and a bunch of movies. So it's going to be a great conversation next week as well. Same time, same place. And also, you can go to my podcast on iTunes. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Just look up Ask Dr. Renee on iTunes. And then for you Android users, I have an app. So you can look up my app. It's Ask Dr. Renee in the Google Play Store. It's free also. So please download my app, and you can see, you'll see different stuff. You can get to my website from there. You'll be able to contact me through it. So I hope that you will definitely download the app. And then lastly, this week, me and my new best friend, Talk to Amber, that is her handle on everything, Talk to Amber Wright, the conversation coach, and I started a talk show that will be every Tuesday night at 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Pacific on Periscope. So you can either follow at Talk to Amber, or you can follow at Ask Dr. Renee, and you can watch our show that we will be doing every Tuesday evening. And we will just, two girlfriends, two entrepreneurs, just kikiing and talking about, you know, what's important to us: life, love, relationships, money, whatever we find, music, entertainment, etc. So I hope that you will join us this Tuesday. And every evening, I do Renee's Remedies on Periscope. If you haven't seen it before, you can follow me on Periscope and check that out, where I give some helpful remedy that'll help you to live the life that you deserve. Because at the end of the day, that's all I want, is everybody to be happy. So thank you so much, and we will see you next week.